Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Cortensia Carty. And welcome to our, how should I say it? Our Whiskermas Wednesdays without Whiskermas, our Hump Day show. I hope that you woke up on the best side of your bed, which is both sides, and I hope that you intend to have a great day as we begin now with local news. This from SKNIS. The St. Kitts and Nevis Bureau of Standards is pleased to announce that as of January 2023, it acquired full member status in the International Organization for Standardization, ISO. Its upgrade from correspondent to full paying member was achieved with the help of governmental support. The SKNBS became a correspondent member in 2016 with some rights and privileges within the ISO. However, its new status allows it all rights, benefits, and obligations within the ISO system in accordance with Clause 2 of the ISO Rules of Procedures. ISO is an independent, non-governmental organization established in 1947 and based in Geneva, Switzerland. It boasts a membership of 168 national standard bodies from across the globe. It is the largest international standards development organization, and St. Kitts and Nevis is its smallest full-paying member. The SKNBS membership in ISO allows it to continue to adopt internationally recognized standards that meet the needs of our local communities. Its membership also demonstrates its commitment to the quality, safety, and efficiency of our local goods and services.
And in other news from SKN Vibes, Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Sir Hilary Beckles, has lauded the Honourable Mark Brantley, Premier of Nevis, as a leader with strong principles and a champion for the people that he serves, and by extension, the wider Caribbean community. The Honourable Brantley was an honoree at the American Foundation for the University of the West Indies 26th Annual Gala held in New York City on April 20th, 2023, where he was bestowed with the 2023 Vice Chancellor Award for Excellence in International Governance and Leadership. In presenting the award, Sir Hilary said, quote, "We celebrate his contribution to his people, his community. We celebrate the principles on which he stands as a distinguished son of the Caribbean and for commitment to his community and to the less enfranchised members of his community. The University of the West Indies, is proud to be associated with those values and principles. So we see you as a hero and we celebrate you for taking care of your people," end quote. Premier Brantley, the first in division to receive an AFUWI Excellence Award, spoke to his profound honor at being recognized by such an esteemed body, expressing gratitude to the Foundation and his alma mater, the University of the West Indies.
Okay, and congratulations to Premier Brantley on receiving that award. We continue now. Our next story comes from SKNIS. Over the next 2 days, representatives from the public and private sectors, including parliamentarians, business leaders, students, technocrats, entrepreneurs, and other service providers in the OECS, that's the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, will be engaged in informative discussions on the advancement of the delivery of healthcare services in the sub-region. This is being done at the 7th Growth and Resilience Dialogue hosted by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB, in collaboration with the OECS Commission, the World Bank, and the University of the West Indies. The two-day forum is being guided by the theme, "An Appropriate and Sustainable Model for Healthcare in the ECCU and the OECS. Agile Infrastructure, Traditional Medicine, and Medicinal Cannabis," end quote. Yesterday, participants were engaged in a series of panel discussions on healthcare from different aspects. A discussion on agile healthcare infrastructure will explore technology in healthcare and recommendations to address pandemics, respiratory ailments, and the impact of antimicrobial resistance. The focus on traditional medicine in healthcare will examine alternative practices to wellness, identify advantages and disadvantages, and explore what is needed to integrate traditional medicine into our national healthcare systems. The final discussion will focus on medicinal cannabis from the perspectives of the agriculture and tourism industries.
Time now for a check of our local weather. It will be partly cloudy with a high of 81 and a low of 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Take a look at your forecast as we head to a break. More GMSKN in a moment.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Yo, what up? It's your boy N Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moment Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Time now for the latest in regional news. This from ABC News. Cuba's fuel shortages have increased dramatically, with authorities suspending activities, including a concert by the country's National Symphony, as well as rationing gasoline sales and moving some universities' classes online. Cubans have experienced shortages of all kinds of goods amid the recent economic crisis, but the cancellation of activities because of fuel shortages had not been reported previously. The cancellations come following days of long lines to get gasoline at filling stations. Experts say the lack of gasoline and diesel is not due to a lack of crude oil, but to difficulties refining it, because Cuba produces about half of what it needs and buys the rest from other countries. Jorge Piñon, senior research fellow at the University of Texas at Austin's Energy Institute, said, quote, "There is no lack of crude oil in Cuba," end quote. He said Venezuela is selling Cuba a similar amount of crude, or even slightly more than it did last year. Cuba has also received oil from Russia, though details of these agreements are unknown.
On the international scene, our news comes from BBC. A leader from Brazil's indigenous Munduruku community has been recognized for her successful fight against mining in the Amazon rainforest. Alessandra Corrup Munduruku, 39, has been awarded this year's Goldman Prize, which recognizes grassroots activism. Her vocal campaign to protect the Munduruku territory saw her confronting mining giant Anglo American. As a result, Anglo American withdrew 27 research applications to mine inside indigenous territories. The company's move represents a rare victory of an indigenous community over one of the world's largest mining companies. Alessandra Kurup Munduruku said that she has derived strength from the territory she aimed to protect when asked by the BBC if she found the prospect of taking on the mining giant daunting. She said, and quote, "It, that is, Anglo-American, may be powerful to you, but to me, the powerful ones are the river, the strength of our territory and our people, the ant doing its work and the resistance of our people for more than 500 years in the fight for our land," end quote. So kudos to Alessandra, and I hope the best comes out of this. Folks, there you have it for regional and international news. Stay tuned. We have lots in store for you this morning here at Good Morning SKN.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself.
First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
The Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College is now accepting applications for the 2023-2024 academic year. And here to tell us all about the application process and more are Andrew Abraham, Dean of the Division of Technical and Vocational Education and Management Studies, Randolph Franklin, Agriculture Studies Lecturer, and Carissa Kelly, Assistant Registrar. Welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome indeed, and I know every time we talk CFBC, we have exciting stuff to get to the public. Mr. Abraham, you are very much aware of that. So let's begin by talking about the programs available at the TVEMS division.
Thank you once again for having us here. It's always a pleasure to come in and chat with you. And of course, before I share what we have at TVEMS for our prospective students, I would just like to take the opportunity to shout out our CFBC family, faculty and students. We are at the end of our academic year, second semester, and we have, I would say, pretty much a successful semester. So thank you for all the hard work and the dedication that you would have placed in our students. And looking forward, of course, to a new season where we'll welcome in new students. And at TVEMS, to be more specific, we have 11 associate degree programs for persons who are interested to apply, from agriculture studies, architecture, design, technology, IT, business, automotive, timber vocation, and we also have our ever popular office administration and management studies program, just to name a few. And we also have 2 certificates in hospitality and culinary studies also at the associate degree level. So we have quite a number of programs for persons who are interested in finding a career or actually advancing their career, especially high school graduates and persons from in the industry. So we do welcome our adult learners or persons who are looking to change careers. So we at CFBC are actually waiting for those persons, and we are inviting you, as a matter of fact, to begin the application process.
Okay, so the application periods, you mentioned earlier that you don't have deadlines for those. Which ones do you have deadlines for?
I would ask our assistant registrar who is responsible for admissions to probably speak about that.
So there is actually 2 deadlines.
Okay.
So the first one is July 31st. So the admission period is standard. So every year we open at April 1st and then we end July 31st. That's the early batch. Okay. Then we have a late batch. So anything after that, but you have to be in before August 31st.
Okay.
But we are encouraging applicants to come as early as you can, because since we are talking about TVEMS specifically, some of the technical programs have quotas. So we have to encourage applicants to come as soon as possible. Okay. So the first deadline, the early deadline, is July 31st, and then the late one is August 31st.
Okay, good stuff.
And what about registration for returning students?
Now, registration for returning students normally opens in the first week of August. So because remember they're sorry, you would not know. I apologize.
That's fine.
Students, the registration process is basically online, it's virtual. So they don't have to come in, they don't necessarily have to always come in person. If they need advisement, then they will come in to meet with a faculty. But the process is basically online. So that's why you can open August, the first week in August, but then they will access their classes later down.
I'll have to say, you make applying and registering seem like a very fun activity.
My question is, though, why do the students need to re-register, the ones?
All right. Fantastic question. And I'm really happy that you asked it, because we tend to use the 2 terms to mean the same thing, but they're not. So one is an admission period, where it is that you're applying for entry into the college, and then the other is a registration period where you're actually selecting your courses to study. Okay. So it's not that they're re-registering to enter, they are just choosing the courses that they're taking for that specific semester.
Okay, all right.
And in terms of courses and prerequisites, what can you tell us about those?
Right, so at the technical division, every course has an entry requirement in terms of the number of subjects that is required into that program. And for students who also are currently enrolled at the college to move on to a next semester, they do have courses that have a part 1 and a part 2. So for courses, for current students who are registering into the next semester in the second year of their training, they must take what you call the fundamental courses before they move on to intermediate or advanced. So there's a prerequisite to register for courses. And in some cases, you must pass the prerequisite to get on to the level 2. And for persons who are coming into the college now, into the various programs, we have the requirements for them to get into programs which are specific to that program. So for example, agricultural studies, we may need you to have 4 subjects, CSEC, including agricultural studies. There are other programs like architecture, design, technology, where you're required to have physics or math and English as part of the total amount of subjects you may need to get into that particular program. So it's twofold. Entrance into the program, you have subject requirement, and to actually take courses to advance in the program, you need to have to meet the prerequisite or pass a particular course to go on to the other section of it.
I know the students were the blown white because it's TVEMS and it's and it is what is it, general? I don't remember what is the 6th form called.
Arts, science, and general
Arts,
studies.
science, and general studies. Yeah, I left out a whole bunch of it. When does classes start for both sides? Because I know it normally starts before the other schools.
Okay. So we can't give a definitive date at this time, but generally what happens is that we would have orientation the 2nd to last week in August, and then classes normally start after that. But as I said, we can't give a definitive date, but just to give the public an idea as to when it's going to start, it normally is orientation for new students is normally the 2nd to last week, and then classes normally start the following week.
Okay.
All right, so the quiet sir on the end. We are finally talking about things that are important to you. So agriculture training and sustainable food production in St. Kitts and Nevis. Your time as an agricultural lecturer, sell the course to us. What can you tell us about it?
Well, this course is so interesting that the last semester we would have had 13 to 14 students admitted on the program. We have had 2 indications from foreign students, but maybe COVID caused them not to come through. The program, as it is very exciting because we have developed 2 new shade houses, where we do organoponics and hydroponics. Well, those terms are now popular in the island. And the students are getting into feeling what agriculture is really all about. It's not just book, read, write. It's practical, getting engaged, making stuff, doing things, and seeing the products, enjoying the fruits of their labor, so to speak. Yes, so we have 3 tracks for the agriculture program. We have the technical track, we have the business track, we have the science track. Technical track is where the students will be engaged in some parts of agricultural studies, and then they move on into technical areas where they can construct, build systems, etc. The business part, as we know, when you produce, you have to sell. And so we are training our students how to market, how to keep records, how to do the business aspect to make sure your agricultural activity is viable. And then we have the science, whereby, as we know, there is agriculture, and we have now put to it is science. Over the years, people have been just doing agriculture. It's cultural. Okay, my grandparents did it, I am doing it, and so it becomes a culture, which indeed it is a culture. But now we have added science. So the science and the technology now makes the agriculture more meaningful. Students are now able to understand why we are doing this thing. I saw my grandparents doing it, we used to do it this way, but now the science is explaining why and how it can be done better, more economical, and the like. So right now the students are pretty much hype, if I should say. Tomorrow we'll be on display.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good.
At the Agri Fair.
Congratulations.
We have built, with the students' involvement, a project which is hydroponics, but it's a modified hydroponics. When I say that, what I mean, we have used stuff that we have around us that we did not know can be part of an hydroponic system. Normally when folks see the hydroponic system, they said, oh, this is nice, but can I get one? When they hear the price because of the kind of infrastructure. No. But what we decided to do is to be innovative. And we have worked out a way in which we can use materials around us, modify them, and we have put a hydroponic system in place. Nice. I will not give more as to the details. Those who want to see exactly what I'm talking about will turn up tomorrow, because we are going to be in display at the Agri Fair at the Needmus Park.
Yeah, it's right next door.
That's right. So I'm saying to all of our folks, come aboard, be part of our innovation. As a matter of fact, 2 months from now, we're going to be putting down our 4th shade house.
Oh, nice.
And the students engaging in technical and some of the science students will be part of the construction.
Nice.
So with that kind of involvement, they can understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, and they can boast now that, well, I was part of that.
Good stuff.
So I will stop here.
Yeah, congratulations on all your accomplishments.
Yes, thank you.
Dean Abraham, I know when we go to school, when we're done with school, we are hoping for jobs, but sometimes we don't get jobs. Is TVEMS involved in internship for all the programs that you provide?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, all of our programs have an internship component built in, and it's a course, meaning that they have to attend work at the property, facility, farm, wherever they are placed, and they're assessed. And what we've seen over the years is the engagement we have with our partners in the industry. We have a very good partnership out there in St. Kitts and Nevis that we've built over the years, where our students go out to these various businesses, properties, or entities that would provide that practical aspect of their training. And we've built the partnership in such a way that our students who go out on internship get first dibs on job opportunities. So that's one of our selling points of our program again. And for prospective students who are looking for a career, who are wanting to help and advance the overall development of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and you're looking for a program at CFBC, namely TVEMS, you can think about the practical aspect of the training, the partnership with industry, internship that is built in, where you'd have that industry hands-on work experience to put as part of your overall training. And again, it gives you a foot in the door for employment if that's what you're looking for, or at least to get the opportunity for entrepreneurial type activities where you can have your own business idea, develop that idea. And again, we have the lecturers, the facilitators at CFBC. We have that human resource capacity to be able to help you to realize your goals and your dreams. So we are saying that that practical component we know is a selling point, and for those persons out there who are just wanting to get a job, we do have something for you. And for students who are looking to matriculate as well, college is in your sights. So
good stuff. Well, you guys sold that well. if they don't mind,
Very exciting. You seem very enthusiastic about your respective roles, and I can imagine, as you talk about innovation, the very things that you described and what I'm seeing and hearing from you, it's great. Great time to be enrolled at the CFBC. Right. So for people who want to know exactly how to contact you, the website information, what can you tell us?
Sure. So the college's website is cfbc.edu.kn. I repeat, cfbc.edu.kn. You can also find useful videos on how to apply and how to actually complete the application on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, that's CFBC TV. CFBC TV, no space, and you'll find the videos there.
I'm sorry, you guys are really advanced. All right. I wasn't quite prepared for that one. I'm going to check it out myself. All right. So thank you so much for coming by. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, of course, and now you've brought company as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So thank you very much again for having us. And like I said, all of our programs at CFBC, application is open for all programs: nursing education, teacher education, adult and continuing education, arts, science, and general studies. So for persons who are looking to advance their career, I know we are here talking about TVET programs this morning, but CFBC application for all programs are open. So if you want to pursue a career in nursing, understand we do have those programs available. So check out our website, as our assistant registrar, Mrs. Kelly, just indicated. and get your future started at CFBC. Always striving for excellence.
Yep.
You've got great taglines, by the way.
Indeed.
So thank you again.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Good morning, SKN. This is Lyrical. I just want to say blessings to you. There are a happy place in the life if you live in there. A happy place in the life if you live in there. Cause them at a happy place in the life. And they can't change. And they just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, they will never ever change. Blessings, blessings, and blessings.
Good morning. This is Karen of Paris and support from Paris, Vermont. And we want to encourage y'all to sign on to Good Morning SKN every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Thanks.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN as we continue our program. Today we will be discussing toxic traits in general. Yes, I said toxic traits in general, and as I just made a little joke and said I hope we don't see any green ooze coming out today, because we know when we think of toxic stuff, there is some kind of ooze there. So the definition of a toxic person, and this comes from WebMD. A toxic person is anyone whose behavior adds negativity and upsets your life. So many times people who are toxic are dealing with their own stresses and traumas. To do this, they act in ways that don't present them in the best light and usually upset others along the way. Once again, a toxic person is anyone whose behavior adds negativity and upset to your life. Many times people who are toxic are dealing with their own stresses and traumas. To do this, they act in ways that don't present them in the best light and usually upset others along the way.
And we've got some signs of toxicity coming to us, of course, from WebMD. And the first one is inconsistency. So inconsistency is the sign. And if I could read a little bit of the article itself. So it means that someone who's toxic, their behavior is erratic. They don't follow through on their commitments or promises, and you never know what they're going to do next. So that's part of it. There's inconsistency coming from them.
Needing attention. We know those folks, one get the compliment and they don't get a compliment. So what about me? You didn't see me here? Or they do sporadic things to get your attention. And I would like to say toxicity begins at a tender age. But we might feel, oh, it's an accident, or that's not the case. But then we have to look out for the traits and see. Because sometimes you may have a kid that just kicks things, just break things, and you just allow them to get away with it. But then you have to look at their traits to find out if their toxicity is beginning.
All right, so some of the signs pointed to in the article for this particular point of needing attention could be things like constant phone calls, showing up at your door, always needing emotional support. So those are some of the signs that might indicate that someone
Stalker vibes
tends to need attention a lot. I beg your pardon?
Stalker vibes?
Not necessarily that, but, you know, in terms of these things, right?
Yeah.
And they generally take without giving back much. That's also part of the needing attention phase. They will take what they want. They don't give that much in return.
The first point, Jimmy, just to go back to that inconsistency. Sometimes you have folks that are inconsistent, but they're not toxic. Because, you know, sometimes we like to self-diagnose. Like, I'm a self-diagnoser of myself plenty. So I don't want to say that a person who doesn't have the other traits, but they're inconsistent, that I label them toxic.
Part of that inconsistency, of course, again, going back to the article, is that one person can be elated in a moment and then the next minute they're writing you off. So you never really know what you're going to get, right?
Okay.
So that's all part of it as well, those signs.
But the fact that we know that trauma may lead a person to become toxic, we will have to find ways and means, or should I say, ways to tiptoe around or deal with them, for the fact that we know that they may be holding on to stuff that would have happened to them.
Perhaps, yes or no, not necessarily sure. But as we continue with the signs, so we've talked about a few already. One here is that, there it is again, there's always drama. There always tends to be drama surrounding toxic people. So it's almost the case where it seems as though they thrive in dramatic situations. There's just got to be that heightened sense of inflamed emotions and conflict creation wherever they are. They love stirring the pot, apparently. I don't, but they do. Don't know. Love stirring the pot to see what happens. Almost as if there is going to be some thrill from provocation.
See, toxic, the witch's brew. They don't respect your boundaries, so they just expect you to do everything they do and say and show up, and no consideration. No consideration. I swear, persons like these should live in a world of their own, and I think they should be given a world of their own to live in, and then they'll understand what it takes to live amongst others.
Right. In terms of respecting boundaries, this generally comes to bear if you've been clear with people about what your boundaries are, and despite repeated moments of clarity, they do what they want to do anyway. They encroach on your boundaries. They disregard them. Then they're not really about what's best for you. They're about what's best for them.
Yeah.
So in that way, you know that they don't respect your boundaries at all. And the other thing here, well, this is one that I guess, you know, you'd be most familiar with. They manipulate others to get what they want, and that manipulation can always lead the person on the receiving end of it to feel as though they're being taken advantage of for one reason or another. So signs of this manipulation in particular, as the article continues, excuse me, might include lying or bending the truth, exaggerating or leaving information out, so that you take a certain action or perhaps even have a certain opinion of them without having all of those facts present.
What about blackmail too? I think that's a form of manipulation from a toxic person, because if they have a certain set of information about you, they can use it against you to get what they want from you.
Okay, sounds like I don't know, a dramatic plot.
Dun dun dun. But blackmail.
I don't know.
They abuse substances. Toxic. Yeah, and I guess when they abuse you, in a sense, emotional, mental, etc., or they manipulate you, they're going to say that wasn't them speaking, that was the substance. So they have a reason to not hone the fact that they are being toxic or they do have toxic traits.
If you see it that way, the other way that you can see it is that because of their abuse of substances, they're also harming themselves. So if they don't care that much about themselves, one shouldn't expect them to care that much about other people either. And it's just the way that it is, right? So abusing substances like alcohol and drugs, again, it impedes the mental faculty. And so are you really doing what you're mindful of in the moment?
Sometimes I wonder with folks that do abuse drugs and alcohol, if they're using it to numb whatever trauma, whatever pain they would have been going through. I know we should all know the disadvantages of using such substances, but the allure and the addiction that it gives to persons is like they can't stop. And as I said, when they're normal, you can't believe these are the same folks. Then when they're drunk or they're on a high, or you just can't believe. Wow. So other signs, and this comes from mindbodygreen.com. Sarcasm. So I guess everything they say is sarcastic. So how do you believe them? How do you deal with them? Or they're sarcastic towards you as well?
Perhaps. Could be that. The other one is dealing with conflict in a roundabout way. What does that mean?
So they don't take responsibility for it. They go around with it and try their best to show you why their reaction was a cause of some action that you did.
Really?
Yeah, so
that's what that means?
To me, they go roundabout.
What does Mind Body Green say?
Huh?
What does Mind Body Green say? This is where it comes from. Do we know?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay, we'll just list the signs. So that's when everything is a competition, apparently, for these people, according to Mind Body Green. Okay.
Yeah. They turn everything into a joke. Every single thing into a joke. Yeah.
And apparently the other sign is that they want to fix everyone and everything. So these are some of the detailed signs coming from Mind Body Green. And of course, we're just presenting the signs to you. So if you want to know more about how they were distilled, you could always go to Mind Body Green and check that article as well. So to the point where we're dealing with toxic people, you want to know how to deal with them. One way is to confront them. And heading back to the WebMD article, and I'll just read what is written in the article. Quote, as soon as you notice toxic behaviors, confront the person. Call them out on any lies or inconsistencies. Tell them that you don't appreciate how they behave, and this shows that you are paying attention and you're giving them a chance to explain themselves or to apologize. So confrontation definitely is key here.
Yeah, indeed. And set stricter boundaries. If they can't abide or deal with your boundaries, I guess then the next point comes into play, because you have to let them know this is what is going to happen. I can't allow you to continue to do this to me, and then you make me look like the bad guy when you're the one with the issues. So you have to sit them down and have a talk with them. It's for them to observe, to understand, and to agree that, yeah, maybe I have been that way to you, and maybe apologize, say sorry, and you guys can move on from there. And hopefully they can look into themselves and see the part that they played in the role of you setting stricter boundaries.
And on that point of setting stricter boundaries, again, WebMD, the article continues, says that you need to make it clear that you won't tolerate their overly dramatic behavior or spreading rumors about people, and limit the time you spend with them until they change. So you're setting stricter boundaries, which include, of course, which would include your time as well. So, and moving on from time, you could just do this, which is to cut them out of your life. That is one of the things that you can do if the others don't work. All right. So it's just, all right. So I'll read to you again on what is written in the article. If the above strategies don't work or cause even more pain or abuse, which sometimes they do, or even dishonesty, it's time to let the toxic person go. And sometimes there's nothing you can do but stand up for yourself and move on. So this according to the article. So those are your options for this particular phase of how to deal with them.
I really don't like the word cut off, but I guess, oh well. To each his own. I prefer to love you from afar. I don't like cut off. But I guess it works sometimes. So, how to work through your own toxic habits, and this is by Wellness Psychotherapy Services. So, you have to, and as I said before, you have to listen to the people you've hurt. Just listen, don't talk. Just listen, because you need to see what toxic traits you are. Listen to realize that you are a toxic person, and think about the things you'll do to change yourself and to make your relationship better with those around you, be it your peers, your family, etc., etc.
All right, there's also the one about acknowledging harmful behavior. So that requires introspection as well. So acknowledge harmful behavior, and if you're dealing with a person who's toxic, do your best to help them to acknowledge that as well.
Take responsibility, as I would have said before. Don't try to turn it back around on the person when they're telling you, this is what you did. This is how this made me feel. Don't say, oh, I did this because you did that. Or no, it isn't worth it sometimes. So accept responsibility for your actions and be accountable. Accountability gets us very far in life, especially when we can realize that we were the cause of something and we can find a solution to create a better outcome.
And in that, there needs to be compromise as well, Hortensia, because no one is fully responsible for a lot of things. All right, so don't be afraid to be vulnerable and ask for help, all right? So if you are, ask for help, that's it. And it takes a lot to do that, so ask for help.
So we said that these folks can be very manipulative. How come they can't be responsible for the whole situation and not just throw it on, let me say, us per se?
Well, I already said that. Commit to change, that's the next step.
Okay.
All right, so that's important, commit to change.
And don't expect forgiveness. That one's kind of funny, because you would hope that the individuals, once you would have pleaded your case, you've accepted your wrongs, you have offered a genuine apology without buts. I don't understand why there shouldn't be forgiveness. I really don't understand.
There could be, but it says don't expect it. Don't set the expectation out.
Okay.
All right? So there it is. We have been talking about working through toxic habits and ways to deal with toxic people. We'll be back in a moment with more GM SKN. Stay tuned.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First, you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Yo, this is your boy Smiley of the Grandmasters Band, and you're watching GMSKN. Hey, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just make sure you're watching GMSKN. What up?
Yoshi Voice representing for Good Morning SKN. We say good vibes, good energy, blessings and love. Voice rated.
back to Good Morning SKN. It's time for us to loosen up. And today we'll be talking about hesitation, more specifically hesitation when you should take action. All right, so that's precise, hesitation. Okay, so in dealing with hesitation, obviously, first thing that we know of hesitation is that it might come about because we're frightened. We might actually be in a case where we have that fight or flight response. We might freeze even. Don't know what to do, all right?
Yeah, and we see this happens most times when some of us go on stage and we can, even the little kids, they know their poem, they practice their poem, and they go out there and they see everybody and the fright hits them and they just freeze. And you're like, yeah, so I definitely, even as an adult, it happens to the best of us. So I definitely can understand that. So in most instances, people fail to take action due to a lack of courage or confidence. This hesitation keeps them from taking a step forward. I won't say all the time. I won't say all the time.
Well, lack of courage or confidence. So
either or.
You lack courage, which means that you're frightened. You lack confidence, which means that you don't believe in your abilities to do something. And so that induces a state of paralysis. So you don't take a step, you're frozen. You don't move.
There's good hesitation and there's bad hesitation. Let's talk with your Queen Show. You've read the question and you hear the contestant say, can you read that again? So it is, I think in that sense, it's not bad hesitation, it's good hesitation, because they're formulating their answers in their head, but they're looking for more time. So they're pretending to me to hesitate to answer the question.
So then they're not hesitating.
They are a little, the fact that they ask you to say it again, because they're trying to formulate. So they can come up with the bomb answer, or the best answer possible for the question asked.
Is hesitating a good thing, I suppose? Could be good, could be bad. In the context in which we're having this discussion, it might mean that we're afraid to move forward. My question would be, have we assessed the field to the point where we know what could or would happen if we step forward? And is that the reason that we are hesitating, or are we just hesitating because we doubt? Because you could look forward and realize, okay, there might be danger there, or maybe I need to wait for certain things to line up or whatever. And so there's that hesitation, in which case that might be good hesitation. The bad hesitation would be, of course, again, I'm assuming that that person has surveyed the field, that you could do it, you know that you could do it, all the prospects have lined up, everything is there for you. You know there's no reason not to do it, yet you don't do it.
Yeah, you put it off for another day, and then eventually you wish that you had done it, because it probably might have taken you to a better place. Indeed.
And a better place earlier. That's the other thing, because a lot of us tend to say that, oh, I wish I had done this sooner, or I wish I had done this before, and those sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
So that way.
Wow.
Yes.
So when it's time to take action, don't hold back. Well, you said that one already, right? Regardless of, but then you said we survey the field. We are not psychics. We can't tell the future. We are not the one in control of the universe. We don't know. So why do we hold ourselves back? It's better to me go forward and fail than to have not tried it at all.
Yeah. Some failures are catastrophic. And so if you use data to inform your decisions, again, it would make better sense to do that. Having made an informed decision as opposed to maybe one just based on gut, that grit. Probability is that you will succeed. So there's no reason to hesitate.
But then what if you push on and persevere and you succeed?
That's a possibility as well. Like I said, we're dealing with probabilities, so the probability might be greater. Doesn't mean that it's definite.
Because imagine reading all of the information or the data that was provided, and you'd be like, boy, don't let me do this. Don't let me do this. And then we see somebody else come from behind, ignore all of that, and it happened, and you'd be like, well, why did I hesitate then?
It depends. Everything is different for different people as well. There are a lot of variables. There are a lot of characteristics that might inform different types of decisions, even though they look similar. And so the conditions might just be ripe for everyone, or it might be riper for one person than another. So in which case, if you're hesitating, whatever it is that you're hesitating about, because again, it's a natural part of life, it's a natural inclination to hesitate, particularly out of fear. Fear of failure, fear just because you don't want to fail, generally speaking. That's fear of failure, isn't it? So you see it there. So yeah, you were saying when it's time to take action, don't hold back.
No. But you said if the probability shows you that everything is going to happen wrong, then hold back.
Yeah, I'm a scientist by nature, so I deal with data. I deal with data. I not only deal with data, I deal with information, which is data transformed to be meaningful. So
I find with hesitation, we're basically telling people not to take the risk.
I don't think so necessarily. I think that we're examining whether or not there are pros and cons to hesitating in given circumstances. So there might very well be pros and cons to hesitating in different circumstances. Actually, there are. They're not. It's not that there might well be. There are pros and cons, and you just got to figure out which situations hesitation is good in and which situations hesitation is not good in.
That's bad. Right. Because even if you're going to tell somebody something, say you want to tell somebody off, you have to think about some people don't hesitate. See, it makes sense because they just rattle it off, and then days later they're like, oh, I should not have said that. But as they said, once words are out there, you can't take them back, even if you apologize, because people hold on to them and then they hold them against you forever. So we really have to be mindful. So sometimes we have to hesitate in situations when it comes to saying things and doing certain things, because the repercussions can be great.
Yeah, and especially if it's in video. Hey, there you go. Which everybody has a cell phone now. Everybody's a television star. Everybody does whatever. It is what it is, right?
Not only video though, Jamie, writing. Because if you would have sent that, Jesus, that's circulating forever. It's stored somewhere and then it just shows up. Because when I look at elections, do you see there's in the U.S. Do you see how they've started already?
I haven't been following it, to be honest with you, except for Trump.
I thought we were I don't want to say out of hand, but I thought we were a little rough down here. But they're really.
We are.
What?
I think we are.
They don't go to the like. Imagine I did something when I was 13 years old. What does it have to do with me when I'm 50? That's my past. Leave it there.
Depends on the thing.
Wow.
And that's just the thing. When you're going into these things, you're obviously knowing in some respects what you're setting yourself up for. So perhaps before going into the field of politics as you're talking, they were hesitating. Perhaps they decided not to hesitate and they did it anyway, and it comes with the territory.
Wow.
Right? So that's what it is. So you want to make sure that you make your mind up and act because nothing significant ever happened because you hesitate. Are you kidding me? That's not true. Yeah, this is where I disagree. Make your mind up and act because nothing significant ever happened by hesitation. I'm not sure that nothing significant. Even hesitating is a decision. You're deciding not to take a step. So that's still an active decision. I think we're looking at hesitation as something that is passive, and it's not necessarily. So, everything is a decision. To not do it's an active decision. So this is why I say, when you say nothing good ever happened because of hesitation, I'm doubtful. Because sometimes...
Depending on the type of hesitation.
What do you mean the type of hesitation?
Okay, I hesitate to exercise. I hesitate to eat right. I hesitate to do the project that is due at 12 p.m. At 9 p.m. I have 3 hours. I'm fighting to do it at 11.
Okay.
So it depends.
Because nothing significant ever happened by hesitation?
No, because if I don't hand in that paper at 12, guess what? A heart failing grade. If I don't eat well, I cause myself all kind of diseases. And if I don't exercise, I'm overweight and I have to keep moving up sizes in clothes.
It's okay. So hesitation, I guess, is one of those things that affects your mind and determines whether or not you are going to move. I see it, but I also believe it's not as passive as we're making it, because I think we're actively deciding to hesitate. If you think of it that way and you take ownership of that, then every decision becomes an active one, and therefore you would be aware that consequences would ensue because of your active decision, be it hesitation or not, right? So in that way, to say that nothing significant ever happened by hesitation, I guess that implies that this person is looking at it, through the eyes of active versus passive, and hesitation is passive. I'm throwing a little monkey wrench there, saying even in hesitating, that's active. You're actively deciding to hesitate. And so there are some significant things that might happen through hesitation. Your life might be saved through hesitation.
Avoid conflict.
You don't cross the street without looking, or even if you think that you are right, it's just what it is, right? Like, seriously. So
So in that case, I can get it, because we can avoid conflict, we can avoid hurting people's feelings, as you said, we can avoid that because we decided to hesitate crossing. Because sometimes you think, oh, the car is far off, and then you just see this car is just on you. So a few significant things I would say do happen when you hesitate.
Yeah, definitely so, right? So that's where it is on hesitating. If you've got thoughts on hesitating, of course, you're free to share them with us. But I know as well, when we were talking about this, there is the case where hesitation does provide a sort of roadblock in people's lives where they never take that step. And so over time, they just become comfortable sitting back and being passive, although I said it's an active decision, which I do believe it is. If you look at it through the lens of passive behavior, then effectively I think it's compounded to the point where they then think that they didn't do it then, so why do it now? You know what I mean? After so much time has passed, some of you might be thinking, well, what's the point? I waited so long to do it, it doesn't make sense now anyway. And I would say to you, I don't think that's the case at all. I think that if you have something that you want to do, if it was something that turned you on before, ignited your passion or whatever it is, and you want to reignite it, then go right ahead. You're still living and you have the opportunity to do so. So don't hesitate.
No. Do you think hesitation and being a pessimist is the same thing? Or are they interchangeable? They're relatable somehow?
They might be relatable, not interchangeable. Okay. Pessimism, more negativity, more negative outlook. Hesitation, just perhaps a little self-doubt. Okay. General.
All right. Fair enough.
I'll go with that.
So with that said, guys, don't hesitate to come back with us, as we will be back after this short break.
Yoshili Voice representing for Good Morning SKN. We say good vibes, good energy, blessings and love. Voice rated.
Good morning. This is Karen Paris and support from Paris Vermont. I want to encourage y'all to sign on to Good Morning SKN every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Thanks.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, SKN. Ciao, bango.
As we said before, it is hump day, and there's a trend on Twitter called People That Scare Me, where people share uncanny behaviors that don't literally scare them, but make them uncomfortable. So today, we are headed to Twitter to read some of the posts made about this trend. I can't wait to see. Okay, so people that sleep with the lights on scare me. Yeah, I hate the lights. Even if I'm sleeping in the day and I pull my curtains and I enjoy my dark out and someone comes in and turn on that light, immediately it wakes me up, so it upsets me. So yeah, stuff like that just annoy me. You can't sleep with lights, it's not comfortable. No.
Okay. I see.
You can fall asleep with the light, but as soon as you realize the light's on, you have to turn it off. But you can't. Can you sleep with lights all night?
No, why would I do that? That's not practical.
No.
I don't need it.
Maybe as a kid you needed a nightlight, but
Possibly, yeah.
Well, some adults still do need nightlights, so I'm not gonna knock it. But don't sleep with the lights. Don't turn on the lights when I'm sleeping. That's me.
Possibly so. All right, so people that randomly call you on Messenger scare me. Randomly call you on Messenger. Okay. Okay.
Because they don't talk to you all the time. You know, Jamie, and as humans, we all know. Once you see a certain person message you, you know they want something. Because they don't message you on a regular. So you just be like, hi, how are you? Sometimes I just want to go straight, what do you want? Because they don't message you.
Okay.
And then out of the blue, you just see a message like, huh? Yeah. What do you want? You either want to know something, you want something, or yeah.
Randomly calling your messenger. Okay.
Calls anybody
All right.
messenger though, so it's
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. You don't hear from them, but they call you. People that can't be alone. Yeah. The people that want to be up under you and needy and clingy and oh God, it's uncomfortable. Because I love being by myself. I'm not selfish, but I like being by myself. Sometimes I don't need anything to make my world go around. But the man that gives me breath, yeah. So I do need him, but he doesn't even, I don't even know he's around. So he doesn't even bother me. So yeah. The man's Jesus, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Jamie laughs, but
All
it's
right.
true.
Yeah, people that can't be alone. All right.
Be by yourselves. Try it. It works.
So apparently this one is spooked by people that drink sparkling water. Really? So if they drink, what's wrong with the sparkling water drinker? I don't.
Why though?
Wow.
I would like to know why she's scared.
That makes them uncomfortable when they see people drinking sparkling water.
Because not all sparkling waters have good taste. When I taste these things, I'll be like, why do people drink these things? Is it to appear a certain way? Because they taste like dirt. Yeah. See, I didn't name any of them. I'm just saying. Some of them taste like dirt.
Okay, yeah.
So I can understand why she said that. She probably tasted a few and like, ooh, why are they drinking that?
Maybe. I don't know. She didn't say, so hey.
Yep, to each his own. To each his own. People that lie unprovoked really scare me. Yeah, especially when you know. Yep. And that person laughed their tail off. Yep.
All right.
Big skrill.
Makes them uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yep.
We lie unprovoked.
Well, it depends on the situation, because some people might say, "I did it to save my skin."
No, some people just lie, and they just lie
all day.
And they lie unprovoked, but they lie to provoke you or someone else.
Yeah,
they just lie. There you go.
Humans.
I wouldn't say they really scare me. They annoy me. Not scare me. All right, people that are too obsessed with celebrities scare me somehow. I don't know. Okay. Wow.
I don't understand the obsession though. Like, you imagine you have a restraining order and you still showing up by the person's place. Is you crazy?
Well, All I have to say is that the username really scares me. All right, Rich Off Weep. In any event, that scares me.
Why? Why you had to see that?
All right.
Why you had to see that?
People
Well,
that's too
see, that
obsessed with
person made a lot of money off selling those things.
Maybe because celebrities wear them, so don't knock it. All right.
They kill me when they stretch your hands out because they want to touch. What's a touch? You're gonna wash your hand. That touch is gonna wash off. Wow. But at least you can say you touched. I'm gonna use a tennis star, Roger Federer. Yeah. Okay. Oh well. To each his own.
Yeah.
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 So people that need to be in relationships to be okay scare me. Yes, that's like not being alone. Like people put timeline, a date on everything. So I must have this relationship by then. This relationship must end in marriage by then. Then I must have a relationship where I'm pregnant. So I have a relationship with my baby. And then when the baby comes out, I'm gonna basically live my life through the baby that I didn't get to live on my own. And then yeah, they scare me very much. So scare me, and especially those folks who like I have to have a baby by this age. They scare me. Silly.
You're not okay if you're not in a relationship. This is another way of saying that. Okay, whatever you say. Yeah, I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
not buying it at all.
And sometimes it's better too because you have less stress. Yeah, and you can deal with yourself. So if you want to fight with yourself, you fight with yourself.
All right, and here's one: people that have a playlist for every mood. Well, they scare me.
I never thought of that.
I haven't given that much thought. So, you know what? Yeah, the fact that you know that people have a playlist for every mood scares me. But, yeah, it's weird.
It makes sense for the person because if the person's down, maybe they have upbeat music in that sense to be down. Unless they have like dun 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 or slow music for that sense.
I don't see it that way.
It depends.
I see that they'll have for every mood, so it's not that they're going to go counter to what they're feeling. So if they're feeling sad, they'll have sad songs.
Scratchy music.
If they're feeling mad, they'll probably be playing some heavy metal or something. Yeah.
Boy, not good.
Or maybe some rap. Mama said. Anyway, never mind. Yeah. So all of that.
Okay, from that angle, and then from my angle, I would hope, as I said, when they're sad, it's upbeat. Yeah. A way out.
By the way, if you don't know where I was going with that song, that's fine. Leave it there. Safer that way.
Is it?
Not until you what Mama said.
You hesitated.
I did, and I did it for a good reason. Very good reason.
Alrighty. People that don't know the difference between 2 and 2 scares me.
Can we say that again?
But you can't say I am too much.
Yes, people do.
Got too much sound like we're talking dialect, but I'm too much.
I mean, okay. I know that we've got homophones, but seriously, this, it's 2 and 2. It's there and there and there. It's a lot of things. It's
there, them.
It's just you know what? I don't think they scare me. I just think that perhaps they.
We just got language mixed up. They say English is the hardest and the funniest language, so maybe
need to learn English, I guess. Yeah.
Fair enough.
A little better, yeah, because they know it to some degree, but
yeah.
I mean, if you could attribute that to using your device and having it predict what you want to text, then that's something else. But really, yeah, this one's definitely me. Ting, 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 ting.
But then you could use the word 2 and says this one is too good, or you know, like how we use the number 2 in a lot. You are too beautiful. Like when kids turn 2 years old, you know, we don't put 2, but we put the number.
But that's
different.
The number 2. This one is this one is
2 and 2.
This one is English. Plain and simple.
Extra O.
Yeah.
People that don't
Oh,
brush their tongues.
But how would you know? Well, never mind.
How would you know?
No, you will know. Never mind. Yeah.
But then,
definitely scare me.
There might be telltale signs.
Yeah.
But I mean, that means you're looking at through people's bathrooms?
Never mind.
Weird. You scare me, Raheem.
Never mind. Never mind.
The things people put out there.
People that drive without listening to music scare me.
So I scare people? Because I like total quiet in my car.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
What? I like to be... peaceful and in my mind and thinking about stuff.
Okay, that's
Sometimes
nice.
I don't want to hear anything in my head. I like quiet.
I like music.
Quiet.
So,
Yeah.
no.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No, I like music sometimes, not all the time. When I'm driving, I just want peace. Like when I'm driving with my husband and he has the radio on, I'll be like, turn it down. Because I don't like noise. It's just me. It's just me. To each his own. So I guess I scare people.
Guess you do.
Oh my gosh.
You scare Alyssa.
Sorry, Alyssa. Peace. Never. I go at 4:30, Jay. Oh my gosh. Jay's name is funny. I hope she has an itch.
People that go to the gym at 5:30 a.m. scare her.
That's
not bad.
time. Yeah, exactly. 4:30 even. 4 o'clock even.
That's fine. That's when they fit it in.
Yeah. You get your mind working. You get the toxins out of your body. And yeah.
Lex, do not come anywhere near me. People that shower in the morning scare me.
So Lex,
stay
when
where
do you
are.
shower? When does Lex shower? I want to know.
I don't want to
So
know. I'm
maybe-
not asking.
No, I want to know because
I
if,
don't
as
wanna
you
know.
rightfully said, you already told Lex, don't come too close. But if Lex doesn't bathe until 12, then my reply would be, people who bathe until 12 p.m. scare me.
But maybe he doesn't shower. Maybe he bathes, as in maybe he uses a tub. I don't know what it is. Maybe he just doesn't like showers. I'm assuming that he
So he uses a bowl and a bucket and he throws water.
a tub, yeah, a bathtub, or something.
But the whole point is, he said in the morning.
No, but he's a shower. So I'm just gonna run with that. I'm gonna say shower. He has an issue with
He still
shower.
has to bathe. He still has
And
to throw
he's
water
gonna
in his
be in
skin.
the bathtub. You know, he'll take a bath instead.
All right.
So that's where I'm going with it.
Okay.
Lex, I'm trying to save you, but please don't come near me.
Lex, you got told.
All right.
And with that said, see you on the other side of this break.
各位朋友，大家好。Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First, you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom. no cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
On November 2011, or rather in November 2011, UNESCO designated April 30th as International Jazz Day in order to highlight jazz and its diplomatic role in uniting people around the world. John Francis is joining us again as we discuss the importance of this day and the local event being hosted on International Jazz Day. So welcome back to Good Morning SKN, John.
Welcome back, John.
Morning.
All right, so got a little bit of a teaser while you were waiting to go live because I was listening to some Herbie Hancock and I got surprised. So I have to ask you, that was jazz. I heard it was jazz. It was a little bit of everything. For those who don't know, what is jazz?
Okay, jazz is about synchronization of music. Difficult to explain, but it's where a musician holds his part and another musician holds his part. They don't crash, they wait for each other. It's synchronized, and it's improvised. So, like Miles Davis, one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time, he said, more is less. So it's not as what you play or how much you play, it's when you play it.
Okay.
So you go bling, plong, bling, but never bong, bong together.
Gotcha.
So why is International Jazz Day celebrated?
Okay, International Jazz Day was formed by Herbie Hancock, one of the most prolific jazz musicians alive today. The idea is to, as you said, is to unite the world through jazz music. The concept is to have 190 countries around the world celebrating the day with music, doing different types of things relating to jazz, whether to have concerts, art exhibitions, DJ sessions, whatever. Then there will be 13 countries where there'll be a live broadcast featuring great musicians like Marcus Miller. Who else there is? Christian McBride. Who else? Diana Reeves. These are great jazz musicians, and they'll be playing in 13 countries around the world. But then other promoters, in fact, I got a letter from the UNESCO organization about 6 weeks ago and said, would I like to do something for St. Kitts? And I scratched my head and said, well, what can we do here in St. Kitts? Difficult because we're a small market. And so I thought the best thing to do is probably for me to express what I knew, what I could do. So I decided to do an Afro-Caribbean jazz session. And to do that on the beach. So nice. we like beach. It's a Sunday. We like beach Sundays. So I'll be doing Afro-Caribbean jazz as part of the International Jazz Day at the Godfather on South Friars Beach.
All right, so you're obviously, well, that's a great event, obviously. You're hitting some genres there. And Afro-Caribbean, okay, so what does that sound like?
Okay. Most modern form of music starts in Africa. The movement of the people from Africa through to the Caribbean, I think, into the Americas and then the rest of the world. Jazz music, as we think about it, is we think of a guy playing serious riff on a piano or on a saxophone, and we think that's jazz. It's out of space. But jazz music, as I said before, it's where musicians hold their own space, which is really evident in African music. You know, you have drummers. You might have 24 drummers from Burundi all playing at once, but never all exactly at once. Everybody is waiting for their moments to play. So jazz music is rooted in Africa. And throughout the last 20 or 30 years, some great African musicians have come out. Manu Dibango from the Cameroon. Then there is people like Huey Masekela from South Africa, who's here. Fela Kuti, the godfather now of the new Afro beat that we hear about. He's a jazz musician, but he became political, and he sort of fused together the kind of the rock music of the 70s. But he's a jazz musician. So Afro music and jazz are very, very close together.
So you mentioned a few instruments just now. You mentioned the piano, you mentioned the drums, you mentioned the saxophone. What other instruments are involved in creating jazz music?
Oh, anything. As I said, it's you can have jazz voices. You know, as long as each musician holds his own, and don't crowd the other musician. You don't play on top of him. You wait for your moment and you make your expression. And you can do that with any instrument, basically. So you can have two sticks, play jazz. Some beautiful jazz music is played on the bellophone. You know the bellophone, that instrument that's like a piano you hit with sticks?
With sticks,
I mean, that's an instrument from West Africa. And some of the great jazz musicians have used the bellophone.
You're taking me through history. You're taking me through what I wish I was exposed to. And I know that obviously at your event, some people might be exposed to certain things that they can enjoy, obviously, and perhaps would not have been exposed to before. So who are the performers that you have lined up? Who are the performers that you have lined up?
Oh, well, no. I'll be doing a review with recorded music.
With recorded music?
With recorded music. I think we only have maybe one or two jazz exponents here in St. Kitts. We have a couple of guys who are visiting, but it's very complicated to get people to get the timing right. You know? So I decided to do the expression with recorded music. So I'll be DJing tracks from Manu Dibango, Salif Keita, Youssou Huey Masekela, Fela Kuti, all the African greats. And I'll throw in some Caribbean flavors with that as well. And whilst we don't have that kind of jazz interpretation with our music, you know, Caribbean music tends to be this music what they call soak, almost like soca music, which is from Ghana, which is what we all get off on, this hypnotic. You know, everybody gets off on that. It's very difficult to have that interpreted in the jazz form. So it's for the Caribbean aspect could be a little bit challenging, but we have got some great Caribbean jazz musicians in Trinidad and Barbados.
So I should have asked this question earlier. Is this the first time that they will be having such an event in St. Kitts?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm still questioning why they asked me to do it, but I suspect why. I think I'm on a number of hit lists.
Good hit lists, good ones, right?
They did write Dear John, so
you got a Dear John letter,
Dear John letter, you know, and I said, okay, I'll have a go at it and do something that I can express and come and talk. So I spoke to Rosalind, and so she said, yes, good idea. I think it's probably I reach more people this way. You know, rather than trying to create a small event with a jazz dinner, you know, with some few jazz heads, and you know, and all the arrangements that takes. I feel more comfortable on a day like this is to open it up onto the beach, have a good sound system, good DJ mix, and play loud for everybody on a Sunday. So people, as they come to the beach, they can say, what are you playing, boy? It's jazz, Afro jazz, yeah. Yeah.
Definitely so.
And actually, have a wonderful set of South African jazz music. There's a new trend called Amapiano, which is South African Zulu music, which is really breaking up the scene right now. But that's a bit more house, a bit more kind of with traditional African beats. But if you throw that in the mix, that could work. And I'll be presenting some of that.
Okay. Well, we know jazz started in 1895, but it didn't make its way into the mainstream until the 1920s. And it is said that it originated in New Orleans. What can you say about that?
Okay, I think earlier I mentioned that modern music has followed the people of the Caribbean from Africa. New Orleans is an obvious port because that's where the slaves were taken from, even St. Kitts, to the Americas. And of course, when they took that, they took their culture and their music. New Orleans is the port of that area. Jazz is a sort of, I think maybe why jazz came about is that, blues was around at the same time, which is a similar expression. And I think blues music, you had to speak about it. Jazz, you didn't. Maybe there was some pressure with the creators to talk. So they improvised and expressed themselves musically. And instead of doing the blues and singing, they played it with jazz because it's very, very, very close. And that's around the time of the cotton picking era in southern states of America. But I think the interest in jazz came about, I think, in the turn of the century, when the cities started growing up in America, and then of course black people were forced to work in the cities as menial workers, and of course they had to chill out. They had to find their own parties, their own bars, and take the music that they enjoyed. And I think jazz was an expression of what they had, or what they were experiencing.
So what about your own introduction to appreciating jazz? What can you tell us about that?
Actually, I was afraid of it in the beginning. And for me, when I started my music career, I thought, the moment I started enjoying jazz, the next step is when it's done, because that's the last place you go. So I kind of delayed my involvement in jazz, thinking, no, I don't understand it. And I didn't in its true form, because I think I was looking at jazz from the Western point of view. If you like, with white ears, so to speak. It's not when I got involved with African music, and I started feeling it and thinking, and that was about during the 1980s, around about then, when I got involved with, and my involvement was I was promoting African music, traditional African music in Sweden, and I met up in Manu Dibango, who was a great musician. He passed away during COVID, from Cameroon. And I was asked to book him to play for the King of Norway for his birthday party. So I got a call, can you book Manu Dibango for the King of Norway? I said, yeah, okay, of course I'll do that. So my involvement with jazz was through the African movement. And came about it that way. But also before then, as a young man, I used to go to clubs in London. Ronnie Scott's, these are the names that people might know. Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club in London, which is the sort of mecca of jazz. They had a club upstairs called Upstairs at Ronnie's, where they played soul music, a lot of soul music. And that's where I used to go. Then downstairs they had the jazz, and I was not ready for jazz yet. So that's my personal experience with jazz.
With you saying that jazz is basically the last genre of music that you got to. Do you think that is why Mr. Herbie Hancock ensured that this day was created so that jazz music is not forgotten?
Absolutely. I think, yeah, he's spent a whole life doing that. And I think if you expose children, kindergarten, I believe you took music to a kindergarten, a nursery, and you said, okay, kids, here's a pot, here's a pan, here's a whistle, here is a scrape, everybody play. I think you'll have the most amazing jazz orchestra ever. 5-year-olds, 3-year-olds, banging, 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 banging. So I think jazz is in all of us. You say li la la do do dum bam bam. It's in all of us.
That's true.
I'm not going to forget that now. I have to say, I'm not going to forget that.
When I look at it, I realize that the emblem for St. Kitts Music Festival is actually a man playing a saxophone. So now I'm thinking,
that
jazz.
is true. That is true. I think, Rosie Cameron. She's the lady who created that. That logo. And it was, I think that was part of the original concept of Music Festival in St. Kitts, was to have jazz element. And they did it. They bought Hugh Masekela back in the early days. And that worked very, very well.
And now you're going to be bringing it to us on the beach. So remind everybody again, what day, what time, the event details, etc.
Yeah, it's you start at midday. People love to come to the beach a little later. Our local people, they like to come to the beach at 3 o'clock. Rough night on Saturday, sleep late, get some food. What are you doing? We go beach? No, yeah, we go beach. You ready? And it's 3 o'clock and they come. And then they start complaining, there's why too much sandflies here, why I gotta go. And they don't want to leave, before anything. But come at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock midday, come early, bring your picnic as usual. We're gonna have a bar. We'll have a few drinks. We have some ice. Come and beg a cup of ice, as usual. and beg to sit on my chair. That's okay. It's no problem. Just join the program and listen to some jazz music.
Oh, nice.
And have a nice, beautiful afternoon.
All right, and the beach again?
The beach is the Godfather Beach Bar. It's down between Carambola at one end and Shipwreck at the other. We're in the middle, the Godfather. And it's the South Friars Bay. There's two, we have Frigate Bay up over the hill, and then there's South Friars Bay.
Those directions are clear.
Yeah, can't miss it.
Can't miss it at all.
Yeah.
And if you're on your way there late, you'll hear the music. Good sound system.
Yeah, so John Black. That's the name I run under. They call me all kinds of things, but John Black is one of the names. So I'll be doing some mixing there and playing some Amapiano and Afro beats. And some jazz feelings.
Nice. The greats will be proud of you. The greats will be proud of you.
The greats, yeah. They're lots of Herbie Hancock, he's still there. We lost the greats the other day. Did you see that?
Which one is that?
Harry Belafonte.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
great.
Very much so.
Great.
Well, thankfully you're still here and you're going to be bringing us music. Hopefully for a very long time.
Thank you.
All right, always a pleasure to catch up with you.
That's okay. Good.
Indeed.
All right, more Good Morning SKN in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom. No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Good morning, SKN. This is Lyrical. I just want to say blessings to you. There are a happy place in the life if you live in there. A happy place in the life if you live in there. Cause them at a happy place in the life. And they can't change. And they just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, they will never ever change. Blessings, blessings, and blessings.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao bango.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. It is that time to let you know what is happening. So the St. Kitts Spectrum Services Center is hosting its Autism Awareness Month Fun Day on April 30th. That's this Sunday at the Industrial Site Daycare from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Gate admission is $5 for kids and $10 for adults, and all games are included with this fee. Activities are face painting, balloon art, drawing and painting, bouncing castle, lucky dip, animal therapy, and the HERC observation activities. The door prizes are fantastic, I must say. That's 4 Palm Court pool passes, 2 lunch vouchers, compliments, Troy's Eatery, and I know Troy's famous for his pasta, a specialized gift basket, and a specialized decorated cake. Food and drinks will also be on sale. For more information, contact 669-3767. So go out and support the Spectrum Center activities.
All right, next up, the Department of Youth Empowerment is pleased to announce that the nominations for the 25 Most Remarkable Teens 2023 are officially open. Guidelines for submissions are: nominees must be no younger than 13 years old by the end of the nomination year. Nominees must be no older than 19 years old by the end of the nomination year. Nominees must have demonstrated capacity in the nominated category and have a record of remarkable character, contributions to society, and accomplishments. Successful nominees are required to fully participate in a 12-month-long capacity building and community service program. Successful nominees and their parents must sign a confidentiality agreement. No mention of success is to be discussed before the award. The deadline for nomination submissions is May 26, 2023. Forms have already been sent to schools and are available at the Department of Youth office, located on the 3rd floor of the Cable Building on Keon Street. So that's the Department of Youth's office.
Yeah.
All right, so we've let you know what's happening, and we're going to recap what happened. So you obviously heard us talking with John Black recently, DJ John Black, all about the upcoming Jazz on the Beach this Sunday.
Yeah.
Go enjoy it.
And he mentioned there's not only going to be music, but there's going to be food and drinks available. And he's inviting one and all to come and enjoy this jazz experience. We also spoke to Dean Abraham and Carissa, and I can't remember the other guy's name from TVEMS and CFBC concerning applications for college and re-registering for your programs and the exciting programs they have at this establishment, and programs that also guarantee that you are placed in a job attachment and maybe even eventually getting yourself a job. So that was a great segment. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, his name is Randolph Franklin.
Randolph Franklin, yes. He's in charge of agriculture.
He also said that he's going to be at the Agriculture Open Day.
Yes, they are.
Right,
with their
27th and 28th.
Yeah, and they've splendid device.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to go check it out for those of you who are into that area of farming.
Definitely so. So that's what we did today, along with having other discussions, but of course, nothing beats the guest. So music on one hand, education on the other.
Yep.
That works, right?
Definitely.
Right. So that's what happened. Now we're going to tell you what will happen, or what we have lined up for tomorrow's show. So we're celebrating International Day of Girls in ICT. Can you imagine that? If you didn't know about that day, well, that day is going to be celebrated tomorrow, right? With us here in the studio. So International Day of Girls in ICT with Carlene Tellisford, CEO of Digital SKN. So this is going to make for an interesting conversation concerning her involvement in promoting the day, especially as it concerns young girls and their involvement in the field of ICT. So you want to watch for that. Be sure to tune in for that.
Indeed.
All right, so this is where we are. Hey, you guys, I keep saying this, well, I haven't said it for a while, but if you want to reach out to us, there are different channels that you can do that. We still have an email address, which some of you might not be aware of, info@studio327 Inc. So if you've got ideas for what's happening, you want your event listed there, feel free to contact us via email. All right, let us know what's happening.
Yeah,
we'll put it in.
And even if you have guests that you may want to see on the show, you use that same email to ensure that your guest get on our show. Yep.
All right. Some more Good Morning SKN in a moment. Yeah.
An exotic experience.
晨曦，早安 SKN。
各位朋友，大家好。Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here. Morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao bango.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. This is the time when we are about to say goodbye, but of course, before we do, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for joining us today and every day that you have so far. So for today, thank you for joining us today. And of course, I take this opportunity as well to remind you to tune in daily to find a little bit of everything for everyone. Here we go again, a little bit of everything for everyone. To get to everyone, we're going to need your help with that. So we're inviting you to get your friends and family members to watch, and yeah, also to get to everyone, we're reminding you to follow us on our social media platforms, because if other people see you follow, they'll follow as well, right? They'll be inclined to. So our social media platforms are Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. The handle is Studio327, so at Studio327. We're also on Instagram again at Good Morning SKN, which is the page created specifically for this show, GMSKN. Didn't know what it stood for, now you do. Good Morning SKN. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, and share, and also visit our website at www.studio327inc.com. I also said that you could reach out to us via email at info@studio327inc.com. You know why? Perhaps you have your reasons. Don't hesitate to use that one. All right, so our website, our email address, studio327inc.com. Learn more about GMSKN and Studio327 there.
Yeah. And leave us a comment and let us know what was your favorite part of today's Hump Day show. I hope we managed to get you over the hump this morning. I hope for those of you who didn't get to watch us when we started that you will go back and watch us from the beginning. And as Jamie said, share. And you know my favorite part, subscribe. And this is where we say, do I say it now? See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. when you will wake up bright and early. When the rooster crows, grab your coffee, turn on your device. Bosses, remember, I'm imploring you to encourage your staff to start their morning with us. Your work will be productive. Well, your employees will be productive, and you will have maybe all your work at the end of the day. Am I asking for a tall order? But you never know. It just might work. So turn on your television and watch us at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's Thursday, when you will start your morning with us right here at Good Morning SKN. Thank you for watching. Do something nice for someone and have yourselves a great day. Bye.